What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be sharing with all of you my story and how I ended up right here, right now. Everyone has their own story, and of course it's never in a straight line. There's lots of curves, it spirals, a lot of crazy stuff happens, but it's what makes us who we are right now. And I thought this was a great opportunity for all of you to get to know me a little bit better. And before we begin, if you haven't yet, now would be the perfect time to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notifier so that you can keep up with all the new videos that I'm releasing. So, where do we even begin? Well, I guess I could start off with when I first picked up a guitar. I was around 8 years old, and my dad had an old acoustic in the basement, and he didn't really play it that often. He played it a little bit, just enough to dabble in guitar, and I would walk by it all the time, and I don't know what happened, but one day I just got some sort of wild hair or something, and I told my folks that I want to learn how to play that. So from there on, I got set up with all kinds of guitar lessons and stuff, and I was learning songs that any new guitarist would be learning, like Good Riddance from Green Day or Smoke on the Water from Deep Purple. And at that time, a lot of the bands that I was listening to were like Linkin Park or Sum 41 for sure. I was a massive Sum 41 fan. They were the absolute bee's knees to me at that point in time, and I would just be listening to them and learning all the guitar I can, and eventually I would get enough knowledge to where I'd start to actually write and compose my own music. And don't get me wrong, like, these songs were horrible, they were awful songs, but I had a lot of fun writing my own music and whatever sounded good to me at the time. And my dad would show me bands like Motley Crue and Poison, and I would hear these amazing guitar solos being played over the songs, and right then and there, I decided I want to be a musician. I want to be up there on stage playing amazing solos in front of thousands of people and writing that great music. I just want to be an all-around musician. And that was the time where I set in stone my career path that I have always wanted to do. Just be a musician. So over the years, I had a ton of different guitar teachers, and actually most of them ended up abandoning me for whatever reason. I have no idea, but from there on out, I just started to really teach myself how to play guitar and how to get better at playing guitar. And I think about 8th grade or so, we finally found a guitar teacher that just stuck with me and really taught me the ins and outs of the guitar and guitar maintenance as well. And I was still loving the pop punk bands at that point. I still love the pop punk bands even now, but as soon as I hit my freshman year, something kind of changed. Like, I had almost a come to Jesus moment, and I heard for the first time the songs Afterlife from Avenged Sevenfold and Scream Aim Fire from Bullet for My Valentine, and oh my god, that was life-changing for me. The fast-paced guitars, the gnarly solos, the full tones of the whole song itself, it changed my guitar path forever. And from there on out, I started to learn actual metal guitar parts, and a lot more complicated than your pop punk band guitar parts. And that's what I did in high school. I learned how to play metal guitar from bands at the same caliber as Avenged Sevenfold and Bullet for My Valentine, played guitar like crazy, and wrote music like crazy. After high school, that's when things really started to pick up for me. I didn't know anyone in my high school bubble that really wanted to make a serious band that would shoot for the stars, and I absolutely didn't know anyone outside of my high school bubble. So what I did was I went out and I found this website called bandmix.com. And if you don't know what bandmix.com is, essentially it's like an eHarmony dating app for bands. You would go through the profiles and you would find the perfect musician for your band. And going through bandmix.com, I ran across my now best friend, Jared, who's the drummer of my current project, Purge the Heretics. And talk about a find. I think Jared was the only person that I ever ran across on Bandmix that was maybe mentally stable or just fit the bill altogether. So from there on, Jared and I started our very first actual serious project, Fallen and Forgotten. So Fallen and Forgotten actually had a pretty good run. It went from about 2012 to 2016 or so. We were just spending all those years playing the Denver metal scene. We were playing places like the Summit Music Hall or the Gothic Theater and a lot of places like that. And unfortunately, Fallen and Forgotten had a lot of member changes throughout the years, eventually pushing me into the role of lead vocalist. And I don't know if a lot of you really know, but I'm a vocalist as well, on top of being a guitarist. And I wasn't anything amazing at vocals, but it pushed me to go out and seek a vocal coach to train my vocals to get them just to sound where they needed to be for a lead vocal position. I was doing the Bullet for My Valentine and Trivium thing, playing guitar and vocals at the same time. And then 2016 rolls around and Fallen and Forgotten finally broke into the national scene and we started to tour. We were touring places like New York to Florida to Texas, all over the place. And I had a ton of fun touring. I absolutely loved it. Being able to meet all these new people and see all these new places that I've never seen before was an experience for sure. Unfortunately, touring is what broke Fallen and Forgotten. Just like a lot of other rock bands out there on the road, the band ended up falling apart on the road. And it kind of broke me as well. And watching your brainchild fall apart right in front of you, it's heartbreaking. That will definitely break you for sure. So after Fallen and Forgotten ended up falling apart on the road, I tried to grab the pieces and hold it together the best I could. I even tried to find different members to fill the voids. I even did a little bit of solo work underneath the name Fallen and Forgotten. And then after a while, I totally gave up music. I completely quit it. I hated music. I did not want anything to do with music ever again. I didn't listen to it in the car. Anytime my girlfriend wanted to go to a concert, I just didn't want to do it. It was too painful to do anything with music. And that pushed me to actually return to school and pick out a different career, which actually I still do this career to this day, even with the music stuff that I've been doing, which is cosmetology and barbering. So I am a cosmetologist and a fully licensed barber as well. And that's just something that I do along with all my music stuff. So fast forward to when I graduated from cosmetology and barbering school. The single day that I graduated, I ended up getting a text message, and the text message came from my best friend, Jared, the old drummer of Fallen and Forgotten. And honestly, I think he was just waiting for the day that I graduated so he can grab me by the fucking cankles and rip me back into music. But what he said was, "Do you want to start a new project and write an album together?" I thought about it for a pretty long time, and I was still not really keen on music at the time. But after thinking about it for a while, I just said, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. And we ended up starting a project called Get to the Morgue. And Get to the Morgue is still going on to this day. We're working on getting some music out to everyone. But Get to the Morgue is a duo project. I do the vocals and guitar, and Jared is doing drums and helping me out with some backup vocals. And then Jared went out and started another band project with one of the old vocalists of Fallen and Forgotten. And this project was called Purge the Heretics. And I'm sure you see where this is going now, but for the longest time, they were having just a hard time finding any guitarist, anyone that would fill the spot. And I think it was the umpteenth time that Jared told me they were having a hard time finding a guitarist that I just bit the bullet and said, you know, do you want me to try out for guitar? And they said, yeah, absolutely, as long as you're okay with trying out for this project. So I show up at the tryout, and it really wasn't even a tryout. All I did was show up, and they said, you're hired. They knew exactly how I played. They like how I played, and we let bygones be bygones and made things better from the wounds that was fallen and forgotten. And that pretty much brings us to current day. Through Get to the Morgue and Purge the Heretics, I started to learn audio production and how do you put a microphone up to something and make it sound good, because it definitely does not sound good right off the bat. And I've been doing most of Get to the Morgue's production. I've been doing a little bit with Purge the Heretics, helping out here and there. And what I did when I first decided I wanted to learn audio production, I went out and I just blasted YouTube. I watched every video I could on microphones, guitars, amps, cabinets, whatever I can get my hands on, and started reading all this stuff online. And one day, after watching a YouTube video, I thought to myself, you know, I would love to be able to do this. I would love to be able to create these videos and learn from people, as well as teach people that were in the same spot that I was in a few years ago. And I am so happy I did. Without thinking about it, I made a name, High Impact Audio. Cool, sounds great. And then I went ahead and made a logo for it, along with the Facebook page and Instagram, and I put it out there. I told all my friends about it, and I think at that point it became extremely real to me, like, oh my god, I'm actually doing this. And that was back in June of 2021, which was only eight months ago, but I have a lifetime of experiences in doing this, and I've been having a blast creating these videos for all of you guys. I had my first video in June of 2021 where I did the Schecter C7 multi-scale Silver Mountain Toxic Venom guitar, and I sat down in front of the camera, I turned it on, I had no idea what I was going to talk about or what I was going to do for it, but I hit record and just went for it, and I am so thankful that I just dove in head first without even really thinking about it, because I am so happy doing what I'm doing right now for you guys. And all of you viewers that have been supporting me along the way, I just want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for watching, whether you're a new viewer or an older viewer. Thank you. And I would love to see how High Impact Audio grows, and I would love to see it become massive and a great resource for all of you musicians out there. And I just want to ride this ride and see where it goes. And that is my story. That's how I ended up right where I am at this moment. And like I said, no one's story is in a straight line. It has curves, it has spirals. Sometimes you head backwards, but the journey is what makes us who we are at this moment right now. And I can't wait to be making more and more videos for all of you guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. If you could smash that like button, that would be a huge help. Also, again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notifier so that you never miss a video of mine ever again. My name is Chris with High Impact Audio, and I will see you guys next time.